No one saw this coming. A game that we all thought would be a walk in the park for Portugal turned into a game where Ireland managed to destabilize Portugal, dampening their reputation. Let us take a look at what transpired in this game. Ireland being the green and Portugal being the white, Ireland were able to apply their tactical side quite well, and it managed to destabilize Portugal throughout the game. Ireland approached the game in a 5-3 shape, and from this setup, it was pretty clear as to what the game plan was. Ireland looked to stay deep and allow Portugal to have time and space on the ball. This would mean that Ireland would be seen in a low block for the most part. Defending in a 5-4-1 shape, Portugal would find it incredibly challenging to penetrate the center of Ireland's defensive shape. This was due to the fact that Ireland would compact the center of the pitch and close down any form of central attack from Portugal. The only form of attack that would seem to have some form of progress for Portugal would be the crosses they looked to play into the box. These crosses would for the most part either be nullified by the Ireland defenders, or the Portugal players would be a bit off from the positions that would allow them to cause damage to the Ireland goal. Take Cristiano Ronaldo for example. He would drop deep in order to find space, and sometimes he would not be present for the cross in the box. Moving upfield, we would see Ireland play long balls forward. This would be the main way for Ireland to move the ball upfield, as they would attempt to exploit the space left open in behind Portugal as they would attack in a high line. Initially, Ireland would play the ball down the right-hand side, using Chiedozie Ogbon as a target man upfield. He would be able to find good space and create good chances for Ireland. However, as the game progressed, we would see Portugal adapt to this and better close off this space. This would then allow Chiedozie Ogbon to drift infield and change the long ball direction for Ireland. Ireland would then play long balls in multiple directions. Portugal would find it difficult throughout the game to defend these long balls. However, in the second half they improved in defending these long balls. Portugal approached the game in a 4-3-3 formation and would build up in a back 3-1 shape. Upfield, Portugal would, as stated, struggle to penetrate Ireland's defensive shape, so Portugal would attack from the wide areas for the most part, looking to play crosses into the box. However, Cristiano Ronaldo's dismissal would then force substitutions from Portugal. The idea initially from Portugal would be to get direct runners on the pitch to try and beat Ireland's players in 1v1 situations out wide and in the center, as Portugal began the game with players who were not as direct as they needed to be to penetrate Ireland. Nelson Semedo and Rafael Leao were the ideal substitutions in this situation, as they are players who look to take opponents on in 1v1 situations. They were also aided by the substitution on Francisco Trincao. He would oftentimes also take on Ireland players. Then we saw Portugal bring on a target man in Gonzalo Ramos, looking to play crosses into the box and passes into space for Gonzalo Ramos, hence why we would see Portugal look better at attacking Ireland after these substitutions post Cristiano Ronaldo's dismissal. This game was quite the surprise, but we have to acknowledge the extraordinary performance from Ireland, as they executed their tactical plan quite well and were able to remain disciplined enough to defend against Portugal, who were relentless in their attack. However, they did find it hard to adapt to Ireland's tactical plan. Final score: Ireland 2, Portugal 0.